Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. In today's presentation, I'm going to talk about adjective clause. Let me introduce myself. My name is Vio Litasari. I am from class 02 SA Kiki 002. Have you ever heard about adjective clause? Do you know what's the meaning and the functions adjective clause and how to use it? Okay, in this presentation, I will tell you about what's the meaning of adjective clause, what's the function of adjective clause, and how to use it, and give you some example of them. What's the meaning of adjective clause? An adjective clause is dependent clause that function as subjective in a sentence. It modifies a noun and pronouns by providing additional information about it. What's the function of adjective clause? The function of adjective clause is to combining two simple sentences to be a complex sentence. How to use adjective clause? Adjective clause consists of independent and dependent. Independent as a subject and dependent as an adjective clause that will describe the subject. To combining independent and dependent, we need connectors. There is two type connectors that we can use to make an adjective clause. The connectors are relative pronoun and relative adverb. Relative pronoun consists with who, whom, which, that, whose. We use who when the subject is people. We use whom when the object is a people. We use whom when the object is people. We use which when the subject or object is a thing. We use that when the subject is people or thing. We use whose when the subject is being possessive. And the second type of connectors that we can choose to make adjective clause is relative adverb. Relative adverbs consist with what, who, when, where, and why. We can use what to describe something. We can use who to describe a subject. We can use when to describe time. We can use where to describe a place. And we can use why to describe a reason. Now I'm going to give you all some example of adjective clause. First, my mother is beautiful. She wears a purple t-shirt. My mother as a subject and she as a subject too. To combine two sentences, we can use who as a relative pronoun. So, my mother who wears a purple t-shirt is beautiful. My mother as a subject and who as relative pronouns wears a purple t-shirt is beautiful as an object. Why we use who? Because the subject is a people. Okay, let's move to the second example. I like the man. I met him last week. I as a subject want the man as an object. I met him last week. How to combining that sentences? You can use relative pronouns whom. So I like the man whom I met last week. Why we use whom? Because the object is a people. Okay, next. I bought the food yesterday. It was so delicious. I, as a subject, want the food as an object. It was so delicious. We can combining the sentences with which. So, I bought the food, which was so delicious yesterday. Why we use which? Because the object is a thing. The for example is the person have a car broke down is waiting to assistant. The person as a subject have as a possessive a car broke down is waiting for assistance as an object. We can use whose, so the person whose car broke down is waiting for assistance. Why we use whose? Because the person is being possessive and the object is related to the subject. 5. The book he recommended was fascinating. We can fix this sentence with that. The book that you recommended was fascinating. Why we use that? Because the subject is a thing. Last but not least, we go to the beach we met there 2 years ago. We can combine two sentences with where. So, we go to the beach where we met 2 years ago. Why we use where? Because the beach is describe the place. Okay, that's the end of my presentations. I would like to thank you for your attention.